And understand, guys, Liz doesn't live in San Jose. She lives a couple hours out, and she's still taking opportunity here in the Bay Area. And like you said, has a pre-approved buyer at 1.6 million, and that's from leads that we, in our system. So great job, Liz. Great job on taking that initiative.
Yeah, and I think just to kind of piggyback off of that, right? What you said is Liz not living locally. There's a lot of us that don't live locally, right? Like, where do you live, Luis? San Mateo, Los Baños, right? In the mountains, right? So even though it's Los Gatos, but it's still a little drive to get out of the mountains, right? Some of us live a little further away, right? And we're still getting after it, right? Liz is a little bit further away, Jose. But we got to do what we got to do, guys. I think that's the main thing that I want to communicate is we got to go where the business is at. We got to go where the opportunities are at. Yes, it'd be great if we could just do deals right in our own backyard, but we're in the Silicon Valley where it's so diverse and people are all over the place, right? So my message to everyone is just get after it, right? Like, you can look at it two ways, like, oh man, this lead's far away, I don't want to work it. Or, oh man, I get to get this opportunity. I get another at bat. I get to go out there and show my value and try to, help out a family, right? And it all adds to the pot at the end of the year, right? So at the end of the year, when you get your 1099, it's not going to say where the deal came from. It's just going to have a total. That's all it's going to have, right? Big deals, small deals, whatever. Just get them in there, build off of them, and the success will follow.
The reps from it, you get the experience, you get the momentum. I mean, that's the main thing I think in real estate and on the finance side is just staying active, right? Don't get stale. And with the opportunities that the team provides and opportunities you create on your own, that allows you to be working 40, 60 hours a week so you're really sharp on your game. So that when you do have that opportunity, you can execute at a high level.
Yeah.
I think it's important to understand, like, take these deals. I don't care if it's a land, a mobile home, change that mobile home into a condo, that land into a purchase. We've done it many, many times, guys.
Yeah. Early on in my career, guys, when I was first kind of getting started, I realized quickly, like, the dollar per hour measurement, right? And sometimes, I don't know if that's an exercise that everybody has done, but if you take your income goal for the year and then divide that up into an hourly wage, right? Like if you're working 40 hours a week, X amount of weeks per year, you can see what your dollar per hour should be, right? And then you could do the math, like even if it's a smaller deal, but like it's a smaller deal, it's going to take me, 2 weekends of showing homes, right? And then once it's in contract, a lot of times it's smooth sailing. You can say, hey, I probably only put in 10 hours, but I'm making a $5,000 or a $10,000 paycheck. Right. Even on a smaller deal, what's my dollar per hour pay, right? And figure that, because sometimes we just look at the size of the deal, but we're not really doing the math and saying like, okay, if I were to work in a corporate job or a 9 to 5, how much would I be getting paid there, right? And then you can set kind of your thresholds and then build from there. So I remember when I first started, my threshold was $3,000. Like if the deal wasn't going to make me $3,000, I didn't want to touch it. I think Jason's threshold was smaller. He was doing like equity lines and we used to make fun of him for that. But I was like, hey, at the end of this deal, if I make at least $3,000 on this deal, I'll take it. Right. Even if it's a small deal, right? That was my number, right? That I kind of set a target, right? Did I hit it every time? No, but it was like mentally, that was my target. And then as I started to get busier and more experienced and closing more transactions and building my business, I started raising that number. Hey, $5,000 is my limit. Hey, $7,000. Hey, $8,000. Hey, $10,000. Like, hey, if it's not making me $10,000, then I'm going to either pass it off to somebody else, right? Or, maybe turn it down. I mean, I still wouldn't turn it down. I'd pass it off to somebody else. But those are things that we got to think of as business owners. And we all start somewhere, right? So know your numbers.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand where you're at within your business, right? You see what Enrique said, his numbers are 3, 5, and 10. I think, what I call it is like you're building this rocket ship. Right. And in the beginning, it's going to take all this energy to build it. So you're going to take those smaller deals. You're going to be driving a little further because you're building this business and it's going to take those extra things. Now, once that thing gets up and moving, once it gets in motion, then maybe you can kind of pull back a little bit. But I think in the beginning, you got to understand the mindset of you want to build your business. Enrique was kind of making a poke, right? I mean, that I'll do a deal for like $1,500, $2,000. Because my mindset behind that was, I'm going to do such a great job for this client that I'm going to get referrals. I'm building my database. So over the next 20 years, maybe that $1,500 or $3,000 deal was that 15 years ago, but now how many repeat clients? How many reviews did I get from them? Right? So if you're thinking of your business long-term, you got to maybe take some stuff that you don't want to do right now, take it, build your business, and slowly start pulling back, like Enrique said, and start.
Yeah.
And the great thing with our team, you can start leveraging it. Let's say there is a $5,000 deal. That's not, well, you can give it to one of our newer agents and say, hey, let's split it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a great thing that we have here as well, that you can utilize that system of referrals.
Or collaborate, help me show homes, help me do this. Maybe it's a little further out for you, but you collaborate with someone who's there and like, hey, you know, I'm going to cut you in on a percentage or pay you for your time, whatever, if you help me show property, right? And you still make a deal happen. It adds to the pot, and then you build like the referrals off of that. Like I've had clients where like, yeah, a small deal initially, but then they refer me to like a friend that's a bigger deal, right? Adds up, guys. Good stuff. Let's keep it moving. We got a couple guests in the house. I want just kind of people who are a little bit newer to the team or here as a guest to introduce himself. Shital, do you want to introduce yourself really quick? I don't know if a lot of people have had the chance to meet you, but you're just getting onboarded with us. Give us a quick
Yes.
10-15 seconds.
Yeah. Hi everyone. This is Sheetal. I'm a new agent. I'm in the process of onboarding, and pretty soon I'll be in the office. Today I'm gonna meet you, Enrique, for headshot too. Right?
She's coming in
Yep,
for headshots. Awesome.
Yes. And I just want to say thank you to Jason. I had a very good training session with him from 9 to 10 today.
Awesome. Where are you from? Where do you live? What areas are you
Okay.
familiar with?
I stay in San Francisco. Currently, I'm staying with my son, and this is the area. And I'm very new to this country as well. That's why I keep on asking you very basic questions also. Please bear with me.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem. How far are you willing to travel to get the deals done?
No problem driving. I can do that. I want the deals.
There you go. I love that. Awesome. Well, welcome. Let us know
Thank
if you need
you.
anything. Guys, if you have any clients that are out there in the San Francisco area, that's where she lives. You guys could
Yep,
collaborate on something
that's
like
for
that as
me.
well. But she's also willing to come out here, right? And what
Yes.
other language do you speak?
I speak Hindi, Marathi.
Okay. Awesome, guys. Any clients that speak the languages there, you know, collaborate with Shital. Excellent. Okay,
Thank you,
awesome.
guys.
Anybody else? We have a guest today. Alec, you want to just introduce yourself really quick, brother? Just
Alec, I'm party with EXP, but I'm on another team. I'm looking for something a little more interactive, a little more collaborative.
awesome. Welcome, Alec. I do want to give Alec some props. Blanca met Alec already before me. I think he worked an open house for Blanca on one of her listings a few months back. And I was in Pismo this past weekend. I didn't have anybody to work my open house in Santa Cruz. And I was like, who do I know? And I was talking to Blanca. She's like, what about that guy, Alec? Right? Because I had already talked to him. And so I hit him up on Saturday and he's like, yeah, I could do it tomorrow on Sunday. Like quick, right? He's like, I'll be there at this time. Went out there, did a phenomenal job, got there early, had his signs, super coachable, right? Gave him a whole rundown of the property. I mean, I just want to tell you, good job, man. Like I can tell you, like you put a lot of effort, a lot of detail, those and hard worker, you know, I asked him to be here today. He's like, I'm there. So all that stuff is what's going to lead to success, right? And I know you're coming from another team and kind of looking into ours, but when you bring that work ethic and then you bring the right environment, the right opportunities, put those together, boom, right? That's how you start taking off. So great job. And thanks for hosting the open house for me. Yeah. I know my seller was there too, trying to host it with. She was cool. Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Let's move on, guys. Let's see what we got today. I want to pull up just the numbers, guys, just to show you where we're at as a team and a couple focus areas here. Let's go see my screen there. Okay. So for the month, guys, we're pretty much the first week's down. We got 3 deals pending so far, 1 signed listing for the month. So a total of 4 new pieces of business in our first week. We definitely want to keep that momentum going, guys. If we can get 4 new pieces of business every single week, that'll be a decent month for us. So let's ride on that momentum. So far closed year to date, 70 transactions, about 74 million. We got another 6 deals pending for about 5 million, 7 active listings and 6 listings coming soon. And so we definitely got some stuff here in the pipeline, guys, that we got to close out, especially our listings. overall, guys, it's just everyone getting committed to their number, right? We all have our individual goals, right? And so, yeah, I can show you what the team is doing, but what's your number, right? What are you committed to for the month, for the quarter? I do want to point out, guys, that, you know, in a few weeks, this quarter is over, right? And now we're going to enter the final quarter of the year. That's something that we always want to talk about, right? Is that during this time, it's a time to build momentum, and it's a time to not take your foot off the gas, right? Because what we've seen every year, it's usually around this time we start having this talk, right? Is the whole industry, a big percentage of agents kind of take their foot off the gas around the holiday time, right? Before we know it, it's Halloween. Before we know it, it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and now we're in 2026. So we have to decide, what is this end of the year going to look like for us, right? What's it going to look like for you on a personal level, right? Are you going all in? Are you going to try to build that momentum so that you finish the year strong and you have a nice, healthy pipeline to start the new year? Because I promise, if you take your foot off the gas right now in this last quarter, you're going to be suffering first quarter, right, of the new year. And so, yes, go on your, travel, go spend time with family, do all that stuff, but let's be strategic about that as well, right? So raise your hand if you're probably going to be traveling at any time during the holidays. Most people, right? Traveling during the holidays. It's pretty common. And so you got to say, okay, if I'm traveling between this week, what am I doing up until that time, right? Plan that out. Like, hey, if I know I'm going to miss a week, right? Let's say you're traveling for a week. What am I doing for the 3 weeks of that month, right? Am I going to double down? Am I going to go hard those months because I am going to travel? This one, when I go travel, I'm like, hey, I really put it in these last few weeks. So now I feel good about traveling. But what you don't want to do is, like, you kind of took your foot off the gas and then you travel and then you're gone. And like that whole month was not your best month. And then now that starts bleeding into the rest of the months, into the rest of the quarter, right? So it's okay to travel. It's okay to spend time with family. We encourage that. That's a great time to promote your business too. But make sure we're working towards that. We're sprinting to those times, right? You have anything to add, Jay?
No, I just being intentional, right? I mean, just really, I think, when you map out from October 1st to, let's say, January 1st, just really look at the days that, you are going to be traveling or spending time with family. Again, we're all doing it, but then just making sure that when you do show up to the office or you show up for your clients, it's very, very intentional. I think, the big thing is checking your weekends, right? Because if you're a real estate agent, loan officer, you should be working the weekends, right? That's when you're either showing property or you're hosting an open house. So during this last quarter, really pick apart, like, hey, this weekend I'm spending with family, but these other 3 weekends, I'll be showing property or be doing open house to originate more opportunities.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times you want to have a plan for the last quarter, because that plan for the last quarter carries the momentum for Q1, right? And I think a lot of times people do relax, don't have a plan, and that's where they struggle at the beginning of the new year.
Yeah. Yeah. A good exercise is just pull out the calendar, guys. Pull out a calendar, put it on your phone, pull it on your desktop or whatever, and just start looking through the months and kind of already start putting stuff in the calendar. Hey, I know I'm going to be busy this time, I'm going to be gone this time. And then color code that thing, right? Maybe everything in green, like, hey, that's where I'm hustling and working. And then, orange, whatever you got to do, right? I'm gone. So you can get a visual of like, hey, I got to go hard here. And then, okay, I'm going to relax here, right? So it's not just by default, right? We don't win big by default. We win big by being intentional and strategic, right? So that's the message I want to leave with you guys today. Because before you know it, boom, this year's over, right? Trust me, guys, it goes by fast. All right, let's see where we're at with inventory. Actually, I didn't pull that one up today.
How the open house?
Yeah, let's talk about the open houses, guys. I didn't get a chance to put this inventory up here. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's talk about the open houses. So who hosted an open house this past weekend? And give me some feedback on what that was like. Mark. Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Mark, what you got?
Well, I have a 1-bedroom condo downtown San Jose. As we kind of know, the 1-bedroom condo market's not the hottest market in the world, but unfortunately didn't have any showings while I was there. But I have had 3 agents reach out and do private showings and request additional information after that. So plan on doing another open house this weekend, and hopefully we can do a little bit more marketing, because I was kind of rushed it to the market and had open house last minute, so didn't properly get a ton of pre-exposure. So, but yeah, slow.
Okay.
For the one bedroom.
One bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be expected, right? One bedrooms are definitely going to take a little bit longer to sell. There was another open house, right, going on at the same time in that complex?
Yeah, there's actually 3 open houses in that same building.
Oh,
And
shit.
the other agents were like, are you there already? Can you just host our open house if anyone shows up? And so I just grabbed the key out of the box and sat in the lobby and just waited for anyone else to show up. And there was one other agent also sitting there hosting open house also. So we
Okay.
shot shit.
So theirs was slow too. Okay.
No showings for all 3.
Oh, shoot. Wow. Okay. And those were 1 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms?
2 of them are 2 bedrooms and mine's 1.
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, we got to just keep it moving, right? Keep pushing forward. It just went on the market, so give it some time. What else we got? Alec, you had the open house, right, that you hosted for the Santa Cruz listing.
Yeah, so it was 3 units on 1 lot. We had 3 groups come through. One lady was a little grumpy. Pretty quick. The other 2, they were nice. One was just some looky-loos, but otherwise, the second group was somewhat promising.
Okay. Any feedback that they gave you? I know you sent me, but just share with the group, right? Any feedback that they gave you specifically about the listing itself?
I think the number one thing that I got was the quirks. Everybody was like, "It's a quirky property."
Yeah.
And it is a quirky property, but that's part of Santa Cruz, right? That's part of the appeal.
Yeah,
Was it?
definitely. Okay. And so out of the 3, you said one of them, you got one solid lead, right? Someone that's looking
Yeah.
for something that you could
He
follow
was
up
a
with.
more mature gentleman, and he works in public works, so he was looking for one of his first investment properties.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. What else? Anybody else have an open house this weekend? Any feedback on anything else? I don't know. Rob had his open house, right? We've got to touch base with him.
Yeah.
Jose, talk to me.
Had one, went out there, nobody showed up, but hey, you got to keep doing it and just can't let it beat me down. So just getting familiar with the Wailopo, it was such a stress relief to have it, as opposed to people would walk in when I went to go to the open house with Adrian to see how we do things with our team with PRG. It's just so much more fluid to have the iPad, and if people come in, they just scan the QR code. And then I tried it. I made myself a dummy account. I registered Peter Parker, and just to see how it works. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Where was that property at?
Rio Vista. It was in a 55 plus community, and there were several open houses as well. But nobody came through to the one that I was hosting for somebody else with EXP.
Okay. Did you confirm that it was posted online?
He posted it
Okay.
online.
Okay, that's the one thing I wanted to point out, guys, because if you host an open house for somebody else, make sure you always double check, even if it's your own listing, right? And you have the admin team helping you out, just always double check that it's online, right? Because sometimes errors happen. Sometimes you might be hosting for another agent and they said they were going to post it and they forget to post it. And then you didn't check, you're at the open house and it was never even posted on Redfin or Zillow or any of those, right? That's happened. Or sometimes they put the wrong time or they put the wrong date. One time it was supposed to be 1 to 4 and we accidentally put 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. So, right, like shit happens, guys, right? But you always just want to double check that. If you're going to work an open house, don't just assume, that there's not going to be no human error or technical error. So, always double check that stuff the day before and just be prepared. Because you wouldn't want to have no one show up because of an error like that, right? Now, if it's the market and it's slower right now, or this weekend was slow, which it seemed like, all 3 examples right there wasn't a ton of people, right? Could just be time of the year.
Side comment, even if it's slow, I took the chance to film a ton of social media. So I tried to maximize the opportunity. And then I was out at dinner last night with a couple old friends and they're like, dude, you're killing it. You have all these listings. And I was like, I didn't tell them how slow it was. But, just use that as an opportunity to still put yourself out there and show what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%, man. Thanks for bringing that up, Mark. While you're out there, if it's slow, film content, Go knock on the neighbor's door, right? I mean, think about it. Like if you're at an open house and it's slow and no one's there, like what's to stop you just from knocking on the neighbor's door? Like, hey, just want to introduce myself. I'm hosting an open house. It's a little bit slow, just wanted to, talk to some of the neighbors, right? Have you guys seen, has it been this slow normally, right? And then next thing you know, you're talking, you're building a relationship, and now you're exchanging contact info. And that could be a potential deal down the line, or you get referred, but you're already out there. You're already suited and booted. You already got your signs out. Like, go make the most of it, right? Go perform, go do something, go talk to some people. Doesn't have to be just the people that walk in. It could be talking to people on your social media while you're there, right? Giving them a tour of the property.
And another thing, obviously, you guys have access to follow-up bots, right? So there's activity that you can go ahead and reach out to your current database. You can see what's active in your follow-up bots and take that time. The way I look at it, guys, if I'm clocking into an open house, I'm there to work. So if no one's showing up, then I'm going to try to get myself busy by trying to, like Enrique said, you're going to the neighbor, or pulling up my database and making phone calls to see if I can set up some showings for that evening or for the next day.
Yeah, exactly, right? You're there, start calling people,
You're
right?
already in work mode.
You're already in work mode. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's keep it rolling, guys. What I want to look at is in follow-up boss. I want to dig a little bit deeper into some of our numbers. I know you guys have been doing like Jason's when he meets with the tier 1 group, you guys have been doing some accountability around calls and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And so I wanted just to point that out to everybody, guys, what's going on. And because sometimes we show this leaderboard, right? And the numbers look a certain way, but it doesn't tell the whole story. And so I want to dissect some of this stuff a little bit deeper and just look at, who's actually out there hustling and putting in the work, right? So when I click on calls, this is for last week, right? One of the measurements, right, that's going to tell if we're hustling or not is how many people we're contacting, right? How many attempts we're making in the CRM to call people, right? So if I look here this past week, I'll go ahead and let me see, make this a little bit bigger. I mean, just look at where your number's at, right? This number here, last 7 days. Yeah, last week, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, last week, Monday through Sunday, right? How many calls, how many attempts through the CRM, right? This number here. Yeah, and some of them, don't have any. Jose, you had a question?
Yeah, something's up because I'm calling.
Check the dates.
Let me go ahead and check the dates. This was last week. Let me go everyone. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what happened. I had a filter. I had another filter on. Sorry about that. Here we go. So these are the numbers right here. So this number right here is how many calls went out. This one right here, I guess this number includes calls with unknown numbers. I don't know what that means, but this is the main number. So
Multiple calls to one person.
oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, but like this is a big discrepancy right here. Calls with unknown numbers.
That's looks like a double tap 5%.
Okay. But either way, I mean, these are the attempts right here, right? So just like, look at where your numbers at. Mike was getting after it. Luis, Jose, Adrian, Zyla, Brendan, Mark, Mary. But then ask yourself, right? Like wherever your number's at for 1 week, where would you want that number to be, right? Now, remember, it doesn't tell the whole story, right? Because some of you guys have appointments. Some of you guys are out there in the field. But this is one measurement right here that we could start off with looking at, right? So if your calls were low, but your calendar was packed and you were on appointments and you were out there showing homes and doing that, okay, then you got the pass there. But if you had no appointments, you didn't meet with anybody, and then you had a low call number, then that's just, that's going to tell you the story, right? Because this is,
way to hold yourself accountable, right?
Mhm.
I think it's, remember, we're sales agents, so we have to be doing certain activities. Like Enrique said, we're gonna be showing property, hosting an open house, or we're gonna be making calls and really analyze your business to see where you sit. And I think to make that evaluation, take an audit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we look at text messages, right? And you can see how many texts are going out from people, right? So there's another number here.
Is this like a built-in dialer for the CRM?
Yes. So it's a single line dialer, but you can like select 20 leads and just hit dial, and then it'll just go through all 20. So you're not having to physically, hang up and call each one. It allows you to move through the list quicker. But you can see who's in there texting, right? I look at all these as shots on goal. How many shots on goal are you shooting, right? Calls, texts, and emails. And nowadays, calls and texts are probably the main ones because everybody looks at their text messages. Sometimes emails end up in spam. Then I want to look at appointments. Let me see. Agent activity. We can look at appointments. I gotta see how to move this thing over.
I'd be interested to see how the team is performing after the call mayhem,
Mhm.
because, and looking at that data and to see the increase,
Yeah,
I believe there's more work from that.
that one day, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yep. I mean, I was playing around with something. I think I sent it to Jason. What we want to develop, guys, is we want to develop like a standard that we operate off of, right? Like what's a minimum standard for someone to be on the team? If you're full-time, there should be a certain minimum standard. If you're part-time, there should be a minimum standard of how many calls, appointments that you're shooting for, how many deals in contract, at least, every quarter. And so some of the ideas we're playing around with, and I'm curious to hear your guys' feedback. Let me see. Where's that thing I sent you, Jay? I sent it in a text message, I think. Oh, I found it right here. But I want you guys to tell me if you think this is out of line, right? So if you're full-time, and this is going to be on a weekly basis, if you're full-time, what I came up with was at least 100 calls every single week, right? Doesn't matter if you do them Monday through Friday, Monday through Sunday. It doesn't matter if you do them all in one day, but at least 100 outbound dials would be like the top line measurement. And if you're part-time, I'm cutting that in half, right? Maybe you have another job, stuff like that. I get it. So at least 50 calls per week, right? Even if you're part-time, you can do 50 calls in 2 sessions, 1 session, right? Appointments. How many appointments should we set every week, right? If you're full-time, I think the minimum should be 4, right? 4 appointments every week if this is your full-time career. And then if you're part-time, at least 2 appointments a week.
And go back, Enrique, like even the four, right? When you look at that 4 being full-time, guys, that means you're also getting access to Zillow Flex.
Yeah.
You're getting incoming call, right? So I think that number is definitely, it's a doable number, right? It's not, and I think the big thing is we have the leads in here and then we have the incoming. So 4 is definitely, I just want to make sure everyone understands it. It's definitely a fair number.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you count all the different lead sources, you should be able to book 4 appointments a week, right? If you're full-time, 2 appointments if you're part-time. And then monthly production goal, right? If you're full-time and you're booking that amount of appointments, the goal should be at least 1 deal in contract a month, right? There's people doing that on our team already. But I would say the goal is 1 deal. The minimum should be at least 1 deal every other month, right? At least 6 deals a year for a full-time agent. And for a part-time agent, I would say 1 deal every 2 months is the goal, but at least 1 deal a quarter, right? It should be like a minimum standard. Now, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys think those numbers are out of the question? Do you guys think those are too hard? I'm curious to you guys' feedback. Who's in agreement? Like those should be the numbers. Just raise your hand. If you're at home, you can raise your hand. Who think that number should be higher, right? I mean, where's my competitive guys at? Who think that number should be higher? Right?
I mean, I like Enrique and I, we've been going back and forth with this, right? Because we have to understand, like, you know, Enrique and I, we're here to create this environment, but I also want to coach people that want to win. I want to coach people that really, really want it. And so that being said, it's hard. Like, I'm not really, obviously I'm here to motivate, but I really want people that really want to take their business to whatever level they see it, but I want them to want to do it, right? I don't want to have to drag people, right? So when we're setting up these minimums, you know, we're asking for feedback because, again, we're all of us may be in different places. Some of us have kids, some of us have other jobs, some of us are doing this part-time. So I think it's important for you to understand, you know, what is your minimum standard? If I'm going to be participating in real estate, if I'm going to be a business owner in real estate, what is my minimum? Am I going to be holding myself to a minimum of 100 calls? Is it going to be, you know, whatever that looks like? I think you guys got to define it. And then let us know so we can help you through that process.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important, right? It's just knowing what your goals are. And then obviously as the team leaders, we have to establish minimums for the team, right? Like for it to make sense for someone to still be on the team and paying for all the resources and all that, there has to be like a certain amount of deals per year where it's profitable for you guys, it's profitable for us, right? But we don't want people just on the team using resources, taking leads, and then they're not closing the deals, and that lead could have went to somebody else that is going to work it, right? So we want to just kind of really kind of set that tone with the team. Like we gotta all like go after that culture. Like we're here to win, and we're here to at least hit certain benchmarks or more. If your goal is way higher, more power to you. We're going to support you on that. But there needs to be at least a barrier of entry to participate, right? So we're going to work on these a little bit more. I wanted to just kind of throw this idea out a little bit just to kind of see your guys' feedback. It sounds like I didn't hear anybody that says, oh, that's too crazy, right? Because it's not. And so we're going to talk about this stuff more. And then when we do one-on-ones and stuff like that, then we'll be able to sort of implement these things as well. And so we'll work on this a little bit more. Let's see here. What do we got? One thing I wanted to show you guys was something called the play of the week. And while I'm pulling that up, let's talk about mortgages. Where are we at with mortgages, guys? I'm going to pull up this play of the week, but let's spend a couple minutes on the mortgage stuff.
Steve here. So on the mortgage side, rates have definitely dropped, right? I sent out a snapshot in Slack yesterday. So, you know, we're looking at rates, you know, 5.99, 6%. You know, and again, guys, keep in mind, I mean, when I send out those rates, that's like my advertised rates, right? So meaning that there may be a cost to that rate, but if you're looking at maybe what we call like a par rate where the client doesn't pay any points, you're looking at probably 6.25, 6.375, right? But that's a significantly lower than what it was before. So now that you know that information, what should we do with it, right? I like to see, like, how are you going to let your clients, your buyers know what's going on? You guys can see when you guys are looking at some of these open houses, we're not getting a lot of activity. Well, how is that beneficial to your buyer if there's not a lot of activities at some of these open houses and the rates have dropped? Well, for me, I look at it like a perfect storm, right? It said, hey, Mr. Buyer, check this out. You know, we just had our office meeting on Tuesday. There's, you know, there's a little bit of a slowdown on these open houses and rates have dropped. This may be a good opportunity for you to rerun some numbers and for us to see if we can find or identify a property that fits your needs, right? So really giving them an idea of this perfect storm, right? That the rates have dropped and we are seeing a little bit of less activity in certain properties.
Yeah.
And again, there's that 2-1 buy down that we're leveraging. I mean, that will get you the rates in the 4s now, right? We're getting 3.99.
3.99?
Yeah, and FHA is in the 5s. So if you get an FHA loan, you're in the 3s.
You're in the 3s on a 2-1 buy down.
Yep.
That's huge, guys, right? We haven't seen that in a long time, right?
And you have a lot of clients, guys, that are in the database saying, hey, I'm only going to buy if the rates are here. Well, this is the time to go in and let them know that the rates are here now. Right?
Yep.
Let's get you back.
And you can even look at the permanent buy downs too now.
Yeah.
Because it's within that range that, you know, permanent buy down can get you in the 5s.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
permanent for 30 years.
Where it makes sense, right? Because the rates are getting low enough where it makes sense to buy it
Yeah,
down.
so there's a few different options now. So there's a lot more to strategize around, not just the 2-1 buy downs, but permanent buy downs as well.
Yeah.
Especially if you can get a credit from the sellers right now. I was talking to a Chief, and I think he was getting like a $20,000 credit. So at that point, we're exploring both options. We're exploring doing the permanent buy down or the 2-1 buy down. And then I can go to present that to the buyer to see, what are they where they're comfortable.
Yeah. So I want to give you guys, I mean, that brings up what I wanted to talk about, is how do you take that info and now put it into action, right? Because I know I've always talked about like, hey guys, go call your people, post on social media, do all that stuff, right? But now I want to make it easier for you and just give you something tangible that you could copy and paste in your, or follow. And so that's called the rate drop play. Basically, I got this from a buddy of mine that does this with his team, and they've been having a lot of success. And I want to start implementing something like this where either every week or every other week, I give you guys some sort of script or some sort of play that you can go out there and start promoting. And so what he's doing is called the play of the day, the rate drop buyer power play, right? So the context is rates have dropped, is what we just talked about. Payments are lower, buying power is up. This is the perfect moment to wake up your pipeline, right? Because it's one thing to learn it, but now you got to go out there and do something with it, right? To try to, bring some stuff to the table. So step one is you're going to want to send an email, right? You're going to want to use the rate drop database email. I can put this in our CRM and follow-up box. So it's already a template. You just select it, blast it to your buyer database. Anybody who's active, anybody who's warm, any leads that have taken a pause, right? These are the people you want to blast it to, and keep the subject line is payments are down, buying power is up, right? That's the subject line. So I'm going to insert this into FUB. All you got to do is select it as a template. You can go find all your leads that this applies to and then just send it to them, right?
Not to cut you off here, but be very careful. Make sure you're not doing a mass.
Yeah, you
Right.
got to go hand select, right?
Very important, guys.
Don't go in the pond and like pick 1,000, 2,000 people. Go pick your 10 or 15 in your database. Like, hey, these are the ones I've talked to. These are the people that I've paused, and so send it like that, right? Or you could even do one by one. And so targeted, right? Targeted, not mass. The people who open the email, those are the people you want to start calling, right? So after you send, a batch email like that, you can go back and see who opened it and click the list, and it'll pop up like these 10 people opened it. Those are people you want to call, right? So check your CRM, look at who opened it or click the email, call them first because they've already shown interest, and these are your highest probability conversations today, right? So let's say you were to send that in the morning, and then by the afternoon, or you check a few hours later, 10 people open that email. Those are the 10 people that I'm calling, right? I'm not just calling all the other ones. I'm calling the ones who actually opened it, because the ones who didn't open it, they probably skipped it or they might have just deleted it, right? And then step 3 is you're going to want to call everybody else as well, right? So first call the opens and then call the rest of the people. Once you've hit all the engaged leads, move down the list, use the rate drop script. There's a script below that I'm going to show you. Keep the objection quick sheet nearby so you're ready to pivot, and then log everything. Track all these conversations in your CRM, set up your callbacks, set appointments, add notes to whoever's re-engaged, right? So now you're drumming up, right? Like Mark, you probably got a couple hundred leads, right? There's probably some people in there that this would work to drum up business with, right? So key reminder, guys, the agents who win are the ones who move when conditions shift, not after the headlines hit, right? So we're seeing this stuff firsthand. So you want to run this play today, right? This week. I'm calling this the play of this week. Like, today's Tuesday already, right? This needs to happen this week, right? Today, if possible. Now here's the email, right? So it has an email already that we're just going to put in the template.
So you're going to do this for
I'm going to put this for you, but it's here as well. I'll send you guys this document too. Payments are down. Buying power is up. Hey, John, rates just hit their lowest point of the year. That shift means 2 big things. Your monthly payment could be hundreds less than it was weeks ago. Your buying power just increased without raising your budget. Payments are down. Buying power is up. Some buyers are already stepping in this week while competition is still light. The best opportunities usually happen in windows like this before the headlines catch up and the crowd rushes back in. Here's my suggestion. Let's run a quick snapshot of today's numbers for you. No pressure, just clarity. You'll know exactly where your payments would look like right now. And from there, we can decide whether to act or simply keep an eye on things. Just hit reply and let me know if you'd like me to run the numbers for you. Talk soon. Now, not only can the agents do this, the lenders can do this as well. And they should be doing this, right? With all their pre-approvals that were just sitting idle, we're going to want to send that to them as well.
If you guys, the lenders will have access through this email through Follow Boss as well.
The script, right? When you're making the call. Hey, John, it's Enrique. Hey, the reason I'm reaching out is because rates just hit their lowest point of the year. Did you guys happen to see that? Pause, let them answer, right? If they say no, hey, got it. Most people haven't. That's why I'm calling. Rates just hit the lowest points of the year. That means two things: lower monthly payments or more buying power. Would a lower payment change anything for you right now? Right? Kind of open-ended question. Let them answer and acknowledge, hey, we've already seen some buyers step in this week because the competition hasn't caught up yet. That's usually the best time when opportunities happen before the crowds show up. What I suggest is we put together a quick snapshot of today's payments. Only takes a few minutes, and then you'll know exactly where you stand without guessing. If the numbers lined up with your budget, would you want to see what's out there now, or would you rather just keep would you rather just like keep you updated as things change? And then so tie them down, right? If they'd want to see something now, great. Hey, does mornings or evenings work better for a quick strategy call, right? So you're trying to jump on a call, maybe get the lender involved to rerun the numbers for them and kind of rehash them, right, to the surface. Now, this is just a script. You can obviously tweak this to say it in your own words, but just make sure you're hitting the main points and ideas of the script. And then here's a quick objection sheet, right? Because you're going to get objections, right? Objections. Hey, I still don't think I can afford it. Hey, that's totally fair. You might be right. That's why running the numbers matters. A 0.5 point shift in rates could mean hundreds less per month. If we run it and it still doesn't fit, you'll know for sure. You can stop guessing. You want me to put that together for you so you can see it clearly, right? Because you're going to get objections. So know how to answer those. Timing. Hey, I'm not ready right now. Hey, I get it. Most buyers never feel perfectly ready. The ones who win usually prepare when the conditions shift, not once the news catches up. Hey, if we do the prep now, you're in position to strike when the right home hits. Would you want to do that? Would you want to get that edge? I'm waiting for prices to drop. I think prices are still going to fall. Hey, you could be right. The thing is, even when prices tick down, if rates bounce up, you'll end up paying more. So right now you've got the rare combo, like Jason was saying, the perfect storm, where you can get better payments and less competition. Do you want to see what that looks like in today's math? I'm just looking. Hey, perfect. No pressure to buy today. What we can do is line up your numbers. So when you are looking, you can look with certainty. That way, if the right place pops up, you don't miss it and trying to scramble later. Want me to keep you updated with real-time snapshots so you're not behind, right? I'm already working with the realtor. Totally respect that. Most people I call do. The reason I'm reaching out is this rate window. It changes the math for everyone. Even if you stick with your agent, at least you'll have clarity on what these numbers mean right now. Would it hurt to take 5 minutes to see the updated payments? So they're still going for it, even if they say I'm already working with the realtor, right? Because you never know.
They're giving value at that point where, again, you know, we've seen it before where they're working with an agent and they end up working, or they're working with one of our agents, they go work with another agent. It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
I like that ending because he didn't just give up. He's still giving them value. Hey, just run the numbers. And then your loan officer will keep them close to hand them right back to you.
Exactly. Right. So, I mean, guys, this is a huge opportunity, right? Is where we're taking what's happening with the rates and now we're actually putting it into play. And I guarantee you, if everybody does this, everybody goes and looks in their CRM or their leads, or if you have, you know, leads that you have, Alec, and just start calling people with this news, you're going to find somebody that says, hey, I didn't know that. Or, hey, yeah, I do want to know what the numbers are. Yeah, I know we were waiting, but hey, does this change anything? Right. Last week when I was prospecting with you guys, I spoke to someone, it was an old lead and it was the same thing. Yeah, we couldn't qualify. And I'm like, hey, things have changed. Rates are lower. Do you want to see the numbers today? She's like, yeah. It was really simple, right? Because you're not asking them to buy anything. You're asking them, hey, let's just see where the numbers are at. And then you can see where you're at on buying right now, right? And so my question to you guys now is, as I'm saying that, who already has people in mind that they could probably call and use this for, right? Like you guys probably like, oh yeah, there's that one guy. I remember I got to call him back. Well, this is the perfect reason to call him back, all right? I know for sure collectively we probably have at least, you know, a handful every agent has, you know, in their CRM of people that would benefit from this, right? So I'm going to drop this info into Slack, this script right here, this whole sheet. I'm going to upload the template, the email template into Follow Up Boss. So it's easy for you guys just to select it. My main advice, guys, is don't reinvent the wheel, right? There's a reason why there's multiple steps, right? You send the email, you make the calls, you do all that stuff. Because you never know. Someone may respond to an email, but they may not answer the phone, right? Or vice versa. They answer the phone, they don't respond to the email, right? So that's why you're hitting them from different angles, right? Send them the email, call who clicked, and then start making your way down that list as well, right? Let me see what else we got.
Just another thing too, Enrique's pulling up, guys. So every the next few Tuesdays, I will be here. Right. So I'll be committed to be here in the mornings with you guys, hosting the call session. I know Enrique's going to be here a little later, probably around 10 or so, right, Enrique?
Yeah.
So again, we will be here in the office hosting the call session. I think it's a great opportunity too. If you guys need to work on your script, I will work with you on your script right in the morning. So from like 9 to 9:30, I will go ahead and work on that script with you guys to get you warmed up so that you're comfortable on the phones.
Yeah, and agents who are further away, right? Like if you're more than an hour away, we are okay with you jumping on Zoom, right? On this link here, to tune in. And the whole thing, guys, is that we're going to come together and do this as a team, right? So if you're local, guys, come to the office, right? You don't have the excuse, right? You got to come to the office. But if you're further away, if it's going to take you more than an hour to get here, just jump online, show your face. You can be prospecting with your camera on, right? Just so like you're here, like you're part of the room, right? And that, that keeps everyone accountable. That keeps everyone coming together. We all get to motivate each other. We can keep score on the board, like, hey, who booked an appointment or how many conversations did you get? But we want to get back to doing that at least every Tuesday, since we're already going to have the team meeting anyways. Like, let's leverage that day to get some momentum in our business, from the beginning of the week, right? Of course, you guys are probably still prospecting on your own and stuff like that and still following up, but make it a habit to check in on the Tuesday, to be here on the Tuesday and make your calls on that Tuesday. I promise you guys, if you guys just do that every single week, you will build momentum and you will start seeing the results happen, right? Let's see. Anything else you want to add today? I know we're coming up on time.
No, I just make sure you guys just remember if we do have an open house, I would say make sure you guys are taking advantage of that, because those are one, they're SOI leads for you as an agent. And to me, when you get an open house lead, those are the clients that are actually got ready, put their clothes on, did their makeup, and drove to the property, right? So those, to me, those are more high intent buyers. So if you guys want to build your SOI business, I would highly recommend stepping in and doing an open house. Maybe one day, maybe Sunday's your open house day and Saturday is the day you're showing property, but definitely put that into your business so that, yeah, you're definitely going to get the online leads and the team leads from PRG, but then also start building your own SOI pipeline by jumping on some of these open houses.
Yeah.
And then run those parallel, right? So you're still getting at-bats with our online leads and you're getting your at-bats with your SOI and open house opportunities.
Yeah, guys, I want to reiterate that, because like when I put in the chat, like, who can host my open house, I didn't have anybody who responded. I know people are busy and stuff like that, but remember, that's one of the pillars of our business, right? We've said this a lot of times, the 3 pillars that I recommend everybody focus on, which are the lowest hanging fruit. There's a reason why we picked those 3, because those are the lowest hanging fruit, and that's how you get the fastest wins. And that's putting yourself out there on social media, right? Connecting with your friends and family by calls, text, social media, stuff like that. Staying top of mind with your SOI. Working open houses, right? Because those are people who showed up. If they're there, they're interested in doing something. And then working the team leads, the online leads that come in. If you guys are chipping away at those 3 pillars every single week, right? That's in your schedule. You're active with those 3 pillars. There's no reason why you can't succeed in our business, right? Yeah, there's other ways to get business. There's other things you could do, door knock, prospect, all these other things. But when I look at what's the fastest and easiest way to start building your pipeline, it's those 3 pillars, right? I don't know any faster way. Like, unless you guys know a faster way to get business, that I haven't covered? Is there anybody that has any ideas? Is there a faster way than those three to get your next deal?
And I think, one thing is it's more, it's less cost those three ways.
Yeah.
Right. As an agent, right? If I'm looking at it from a business point of view, it's not, it doesn't cost me much for an open house. The leads don't cost me that much, or even the social media, right? So I think that's another perspective. If you look at it from a business point of view, that one, it's a fastest way to get business, but then it's also really inexpensive, right? You're not paying up front for those opportunities.
Yeah. And once you get to a certain level, if you want to invest in farming, stuff like that, like if you have the money to do that, definitely, that could be a pillar that you add. But if you're not there yet, right, or you don't want to risk your dollars, like these are pretty much three ways that don't really cost you anything, right? It just takes time. That's what it is, right? And so keep it simple, guys. Someone had a question? Liz?
Yes, I did. Yes, I have a question. Are we allowed to share the listings that you guys have in our social media? Is that okay if I make like reels and posts? Because I'm gonna start being more active.
1000%.
Okay,
Highly
thanks.
recommend you do that. Share other people's listings too, right? So you can contact any agent that has any listing and say, hey guys, I'm doing some marketing on social media. Do you mind if I promote your listing? And go shoot a quick Instagram reel. I have friends who do that. One guy is Kang, if anybody guys follow him, Kang of Real Estate. He's literally booking like 5 to 6 appointments a week just by doing that, guys. A lot of buyer appointments, right? Just by touring property, making cool videos. They're funny videos. That's why he's getting a lot of action on them, but he's getting a lot of traction on that, guys. And then along with the other stuff that he's doing, I know he does Zillow. I know he does, he stays top of mind with friends and family. But yeah, 100%, guys, if you're out there touring homes, let's say you're going to show a home, get there a little bit early, right? Before your client gets there, and just shoot a quick little video, quick little reel. Like you're already there. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Get there 15 minutes early, and it doesn't take that long to just shoot a quick little property tour video. Right. And so you can do that. But staying active is really what's going to help you. Jose, what you got?
Kind of like the same question that Liz has, but like, let's say Michael or our VAs post on the PRG site, just resharing it on my story. You guys are cool with that?
Yeah, 100%. Share everything, right? Any deals that we just got in contract, because we have that channel, right? The marketing channel. Everybody knows we have that. So that's actually a good question. We'll end with that. If I pull up Slack and I go to marketing, let me share my screen. So when you go to Slack, guys, and you see the marketing channel, right? So anytime we get a deal in contract, offer accepted, just listed, just sold, all that stuff, our VAs create flyers for social media. So there's a lot of them there's some of them that are branded like with the agent's info, and there's some of them that are not branded, but you can use any of them. Like it doesn't matter, right? Even if it has my picture or someone else, you could say, hey guys, we just listed this new property. Who wants to go take a look at it? DM me if you want more information. So, and what happens is the people that are watching you online, they see you always posting wins. They start associating like, hey man, you're killing it. You're crushing it. No one like goes in the details to see whose listing it was, right? They don't look at that. They just see new listing and under contract, stuff like that. So I would be leveraging the crap out of this, guys. Every time there's one of these in here, download it and post it on your social media, right? Share it in your stories, post it on your feed. Go tour that property, right? If it's one of our listings, go tour it, shoot a video.
As an agent, you should be touring all of our properties.
Yeah, you should be touring all of our properties. Any listing that we are listing, you guys should be touring that one first, for sure. Right? Because why should you be touring our listings first? Why do you guys think? What's the advantage you have? But what's the advantage? Well, yeah, for you as the agent to go tour our listing.
So
what do you guys, anybody?
It's a team effort, and you
Good insight.
You could,
I know what I'm saying, I know what you're saying.
We don't hear it.
if there's a hiccup, if
Okay, yeah, you cut out, brother. So, but let me, if you didn't say it, I'm not sure what you said, but the advantage that you have when you tour our listing is that if you get a buyer, you have the inside connection, right? You got the inside connect. So if it's my listing and you go tour it and you post it on your social media and then someone hits you up, hey, I'm interested in that property. Now you got the inside scoop. So making that deal happen is going to be a lot easier than if it's somebody else's, right? And so you should always tour our listings first and make sure you're at least doing that, and then go out there and start touring other stuff. You should do all of them, but ours should be first, right? And then that further promotes our brand as well, which makes us more powerful as a group, right? Hey, we got another PRG listing. They don't know if it's your listing or not. Hey, my team and I just listed this property. You could say that. My team and I. They're not, hey, Marcus, it's yours. Let me see your DRE number. No one's saying that, right? Like, no one's looking that up on the MLS. So represent these as your listings, right? That's the advantage you have, guys. We're up on time. Run the play with the emails and the calls. Hope you guys got some good stuff today. We will see you soon. Thank you, guys.